Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to 2019. So you got 2 weeks left for UCEED. So here's some last minute tips. So for people who are just starting off with their preparations, you're obviously going to want to go and get all those previous year's papers. You're going to solve all of them. And if you want some detailed tips on how to solve papers, you can totally check out some of the other videos that are on my channel, and I'll be linking them below in the description. For people who already done the papers, so right now you're gonna kind of want to go through them again and kind of pick out the parts where you were kind of stuck and you were having problems, and the parts where you were able to breeze through. So for example, if you've done all your research by now, you should be able to answer sections B and C pretty quickly. Maybe the typography question is difficult for you. Maybe the 3D space question is difficult for you. Keep an eye out for these questions, and in the exam what you're gonna do is when you come across them, and so then you'll be able to know that this is a difficult question for me, or this is an easy question for me, and you would be doing the easy questions first and the difficult questions later. And so for research, for UCEED, it's a requirement to be knowing art history, current trends in design and art. So they'll be asking you where a particular design is from, which state. So you're gonna want to know all these things. So you should have done most of your research by now. And if you have, right now for the next 2 weeks, you're not gonna want to do a lot more research. That's just gonna confuse you. So what you know, write them down on a piece of paper and keep them for later so that you can review them before going for the exam, and that way they'll all stay in your head. And so if you haven't done your research, what were you doing? I'll just leave a few links in the description for photography and art and so on, and you can go check out those links and you get a rough idea and you should be able to answer a few of the questions. I can't say most because these days they do ask quite detailed questions about art and design. Come into the exam and the day before the exam. So right before that one day, you're gonna want to leave it empty, no commitments, no work. Don't do any more research that's just gonna confuse you. Keep your head clear, eat well, sleep early, and go for the exam on the next day. Make sure you know where you're supposed to be going. So during the exam, so a lot of things might go haywire and nothing might go according to plan, because that's how it usually works out. So you might have started off with a bunch of questions, right, which you're having a very tough time finding the answer to. Don't let that stop you. So if you find a question is very difficult and you can't find the answer, stop, keep a clear head, think about it, try the question again, and if you don't get it, save it for later. So because there might be many things. It might be a difficult question, there might be some flaw in your thinking, which will later when you come back to the question you'll kind of get the answer, or the question might be wrong. So you don't want to be wasting time on that. So the logic based questions are pretty simple, and if you keep a clear head, you can and you will solve them. So don't panic. That's what the whole exam is about. So if you'd like, you can actually check out one of the videos that we did last year right before the exam, like the actual day before the exam. We went live and we had a conversation. I don't know if I'll be able to do that this year, but if you don't, you can always check out the video again. So that's pretty much all I have to say. Relax for now. If you're just starting out, don't relax. You have a lot of work to do. Be totally chill the day right before the exam and go and give the exam. You'll have a good one if you don't panic. And so that's about it. I'll try to go live right before the exam, and if you guys like, and go and have a good exam. Good luck. And as always, if you got any questions, leave them below. Hit me up on Instagram. I'll try to answer as much as possible in the 2 weeks that you have left.